Hello there, and welcome to Pets Aplenty. Today on the channel, you'll learn all about the Japanese Terrier, an exceptionally loving and affectionate family dog who loves being loyal to its owner. We've gathered all this information to help you make an informed decision if you find yourself drawn to this beautiful dog. Before we continue though, we would love for you to become a member of the channel by clicking on the join button down below. You can also review the perks of Pets Aplenty membership after clicking the join button. Now, let's get into the video. History. The Japanese Terrier was developed in the 17th century by mating smooth fox terriers imported to Nagasaki by Dutch trade ships with small-sized pointers or local Japanese dogs. By the 1900s, near the close of the Meiji period, some of these dogs were sighted on the streets of Kobe and were dubbed Kobe Terriers. These Kobe Terriers looked like a cross between current smooth fox terriers and Japanese Terriers. Other ports like Kobe and Yokohama maintained the dogs as lap dogs. The Japanese Kennel Club recognized the Japanese Terrier in 1930 after planned breeding began around 1920. Japanese Terriers are also known as Nippon Terriers. This breed of dog is still very much a mystery to a lot of people. Even though they are terriers, these dogs are very different from the rest of the terrier family. The Japanese Terrier is exceptionally loving and affectionate, making him an excellent addition to any family. The Japanese Terrier was approved into the American Kennel Club's Foundation Stock Service on October 13, 2020, an optional breed registry service provided by the club for the new purebred dog breeds imported to the US but not yet recognized by the AKC. Appearance. As a toy dog, the average weight of a Japanese Terrier is between 5 and 9 pounds, and he ranges from 8 to 13 inches in height. He has a well-balanced physique, nearly square in shape, giving the impression that he's strong. It's also critical to recognize that his chest will be deep rather than wide. When he's awake, his ears, which are located on the top of his head, are held upright. His ears will droop downward otherwise. His coat is short but silky smooth, and his skin will be snugly fitted to his body. The colors of the Japanese Terrier will typically consist of a body that is white and a head that is either tan or black. Around his torso, there could be also blotches that are either black or tan. It's worth noting that his nose will be narrow and black, and he also has medium-sized oval brown eyes. Temperament. The Japanese Terrier's disposition helps him form close bonds with those he considers to be his loved ones. This tie can extend to multiple family members, and he's the type of dog who expects to be loved in return. As a result, plan on spending a lot of time with him on your lap. If you're uncomfortable with owning a lap dog, he won't work in your household. You should also be aware that this caring nature does not apply to everyone. Quite distrustful of strangers, he'll bark if approached by anyone he's not familiar with. You should teach him the quiet command because his barking can become unbearable, which will not earn you points with your neighbors. Each pet has pros and cons, but understanding their nature and behavior makes a big difference. Ironically, his affectionate nature also doesn't extend to non-canine pets. He'll end up following them around your house and scaring them. So, if you have cats in the house, you should consider a different dog breed. However, he is an excellent pick if you have children because the Japanese Terrier is famous for getting along quite well with kids. These dogs are sensitive and needy. You see, he can get incredibly jealous when you ignore him for another person or pet. When he's sad, he'll be mopey and bark at you occasionally. As one could expect, Japanese Terrier antics like this one may grow old fast. But if you want one of these dogs as a pet, it's something you'll have to deal with as the owner. Grooming. The good news for people who might want to own a Japanese Terrier is that he needs much less grooming than the average breed. Brushing him once a week will keep his coat in excellent condition, but we should say that he sheds a little all year long, and the hair will end up all over your house. If it gets awful, you can give him a brush down daily, which will keep it under control. Use a soft bristle brush or a soft slicker brush during the actual brushing sessions. During these sessions, you should use a mild shampoo that your vet recommends. recommends. You might also find it helpful to wipe his coat down with a damp towel daily. This will eliminate any loose hairs or dirt and keep him clean. As for baths, he won't need one more than a few times a year. Aside from these few needs, the rest of his grooming needs can be covered by primary care. Trim his nails once a month, check his ears often for wax buildup and infection, and brush his teeth once a week to keep his breath fresh. Socialization. Introduce your puppy to different people, experiences, sights, and sounds, especially when he's still young. Do you know that you can decide to socialize even when you're at home? Yes, you can. Dress differently by wearing caps, spectacles, and loose clothing to avoid being easily recognized by your puppy. Teach your dog to remain alone for a while without causing an uproar. This is the most unique approach to guarantee that your puppy will mature into a well-mannered, secure dog. Early socialization and the proper training may teach them how to act appropriately with kids. This breed of dog has a high degree of vigor and never grows bored or weary of playing. Regardless of breed, dogs and kids should never be left alone unsupervised. You should ensure that your kids know how to handle dogs of this breed and how to engage and play with them respectfully. Japanese Terriers may get along well with other dogs and animals, especially if reared together from a young age. Exercise. Even though Japanese Terriers are miniature, they have a lot of energy. He's an active dog whose needs could be too much for some owners who aren't ready to make a long-term commitment. To be happy, these dogs demand regular activity. You'll have to take your dog for a few daily walks and let it play with the ball or other animals. These dogs are easily adaptable to apartment living. These dogs, however, prefer a home with a yard to run around in. If you want a Japanese Terrier, ensure you have enough time and energy to play with and train it outside. You might want to get a less active breed if you don't have time. Training. Training a Japanese Terrier will not be difficult if you use the right approach. In truth, training will be simple if you use positive reinforcement strategies and are consistent with your directions. It'll also be critical that you remain patient and calm during these sessions. He'll react negatively to screaming or aggressive approaches, become incredibly averse to the entire training process, and be reserved in his daily activities. However, if you keep things pleasant, he'll love the training sessions and be willing to learn new commands. He really enjoys being taught skills and performs them for the entire family. Diet and nutrition. It's recommended that you feed your Japanese Terrier with high-quality dog food produced under the guidance and consent of your veterinarian. Whether it's purchased commercially or cooked at home, the dog's age must be considered in any diet. Keep an eye on your dog's weight and caloric intake to ensure it doesn't go out of control. Treats may aid in training, but excessive consumption can lead to obesity in dogs. Find out which human foods your dog can consume and which he can't. If you're concerned about your dog's weight or diet, make an appointment with your veterinarian immediately. Lastly, there should always be clean, fresh water to drink. Health. This breed has a lifespan of between 12 and 15 years. Despite their small stature, Japanese Terriers are nonetheless vulnerable to dangerous situations. Even though most of these disorders are not life-threatening, it's still essential to be aware of them to alert you on when to get medical assistance. Infections of the eyes and ears, especially pink eye, are relatively frequent in the Japanese Terrier breed. Scabs and scratches that don't heal correctly might cause an ear infection. Patellar luxation, a dislocated knee, is another prevalent condition. The Terrier will reveal its dislocation by limping to avoid placing pressure on the limb. If you've decided that a Japanese Terrier is the dog for you, the next step is to locate a reputable breeder. Any dog you purchase from one of these breeders will be healthy and free of health and temperament issues. Are you a veterinarian or an owner of a Japanese Terrier? We would love to hear from you. Tell us some of your experiences in the comments section. Consider becoming a member of the channel by clicking the join button to gain early access to our upcoming videos plus other membership perks. Also, check out our playlists and click on the video links that pop up at the end of this video. Thank you for watching.